Starbucks is letting its incoming CEO essentially work from home. It's one thing if you're running a tech company, you've got a lot of software programmers working from home themselves, but this is Starbucks, so I was kind of shocked.
So interestingly, he's not relocating from California, but he will be working out of Seattle. So part of it is going to be commuting regularly. But the terms are kind of unclear. I don't know how often he's going to be in Seattle, even though that they're saying that will be his main office.
Yeah, exactly. And apparently he will be commuting to Seattle and travel as needed. That as needed leaves a lot to the imagination. As you said, we don't have the details yet. That's an awful lot of flexibilities that we know most companies aren't offering to their rank and file employees.
Absolutely. And I think it shows how much Starbucks really wanted to get Niccol to join the company. I think it was one of a couple of concessions they made. And interestingly, when he joined Chipotle, Chipotle was willing to relocate the entire company headquarters for him to California from Denver. So I think it's just one of those aspects. If you're that desirable, you can kind of make whatever arrangement you want.
Okay, so this is a Brian Niccol thing more than anything else, more than a Chipotle or Starbucks thing. Like, he can call the shots here in terms of where he wants to work, and the companies will move to him. Got it. Okay. And yeah, as you point out, it speaks to how desperately or urgently Starbucks wanted Niccol. Meantime, you look at another big household name company, and the remote work debate got extra heated when Eric Schmidt, who formerly ran Alphabet, I think it was called Google back then, said that his former company is losing the AI race because of its remote work policy. Can you just highlight for us exactly what he said? And by the way, who he was saying this to?
Sure. So this was at a conversation he was having at Stanford. It was a talk or a lecture. I don't think he really meant for it to go public like that. Since his comments have come out, the video has been taken down, and he actually has walked them back. But he was basically saying that the company is struggling to compete in AI because it has these flexible work arrangements. And his argument is, how can you sort of behave and compete like a startup if people aren't willing to work that hard? So he's sort of equating here, willingness to work hard with remote, which I think is sort of really is pretty reductionist, and I think made a lot of people angry.
Yeah, absolutely. It made the Alphabet Workers Union, which represents about 1,000 employees in the U.S. and Canada, really upset, because they put out a statement on X saying flexible work arrangements don't slow down our work. Understaffing, shifting priorities, constant layoffs, stagnant wages, and lack of follow through from management on projects. These factors slow Google workers down every day. So they had a laundry list of issues that they say may be the bigger problem. I mean, Alphabet's no longer a startup, so how can you put startup type expectations on employees if that's the case?
I think that's such an important point. And I think it's also worth noting that a couple of the most successful AI startups do have hybrid work arrangements. So I think, again, using remote, flexible, hybrid is an excuse for maybe deeper cultural problems that the company might be having. And to your point, it is not a startup anymore, and expecting it to behave that way, I think, sort of sets it up for failure. It's just not possible. Yeah,
and as you mentioned, a lot of tech companies do have hybrid work policies. I believe Alphabet itself has a policy of working in the office 3 days a week. So it's not as if people are never in the office. They're following the rules.
Right. Exactly. So I do think that there does seem to be a bit of a generational divide here. And I think that a certain segment of the population wants a return to the way things were, seems to think that any issue that arises this is an easy fallback. And I do think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens at Starbucks, right? Like if the company struggles and Niccol can't turn things around, people might turn to this and blame his work arrangement here.